Playing a perfect chess game is easier than you think. Let me explain. See, in the game of chess, everybody wants to play the very best moves at all times. Magnus Carlsen, the greatest chess player of all time. You, an avid chess fan. Me, an international master, wannabe grandmaster. That's right, everybody's striving for the same best moves in every possible position. But the thing is, as humans, we're prone to silly mistakes, such as blundering our queen in one move. Oh my gosh! Or blundering checkmate in one move. I just blundered checkmate in one. Oh my goodness gracious.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But at the end of the day, we are not chess engines. Not only are we limited in our calculations, but we also tend to be very subjective when thinking about a position. Engines don't have such problems, and they just play the best move based on the algorithm that humans have set for it. In that sense, any game that an engine plays is considered a quote-unquote perfect game. So, why am I so confident that us humans can play a perfect game? Well, for once, I actually did it. And so have many other people. But also, no matter how many mistakes we make, what we as humans can do is learn from the mistakes and play a better game. And to be honest, at least for me, sometimes I have to make the same mistake over and over again just so that I can learn it. I truly believe that anybody can play the perfect game. A game in which you outplay your opponent and you make 0 to no mistakes. A game that you review with the engine afterwards and it tells you you got a 99% accuracy. If you haven't had one of those games yet, I can help you achieve it. Here is what you need. Starting with step number 1. Know your openings well. Of course, how can you play the perfect game if you don't know your opening well? You don't want to misplace your pieces so early on or walk into an opponent's trap. Hence, some opening knowledge is needed. The best way to study is by trial and error. If you are new to the game of chess, you can always play a simple yet effective opening that has stood the trials of time. The Italian game.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian.
If you want to get better at the Italian game, you can check out the link in the description or go to lichess.org/theheartofchess. And with that being said, let's move into step 2. Know the plans of the openings well. You can memorize 5, 10, or maybe even 15 moves of theory in the opening of your choice. But if you don't know the plans afterwards, it will be extremely hard for you to play your perfect chess game. You can learn the plans of any opening by studying top-level grandmaster games. Try to understand why they positioned their pieces in the way that they did and try to imitate them in your own games. In other words, learn and apply. But with that being said, let's move into step number 3. Strive for piece activity and if possible, attack your opponent's king. Let me explain this one. In chess, one thing stays consistent across any position. That is king safety. If your king gets checkmated, it's game over.
Right.
So, one of the easiest way to play your perfect chess game is to be the one attacking instead of the one defending. Of course, what opening you choose will influence that as well. But more than attacking your opponent's king, having active pieces will allow you to attack. See, if your pieces are still in their starting positions, they're not doing anything. So what are you waiting for? Develop your pieces. Which brings me to step number 4. Capitalize on your opponent's mistakes and convert your win without errors. Converting a winning position into an actual win is one of the hardest things in chess. Lucky for you, I made a Lichess study totally free for you to check out. Link in the description or go to lichess.org/theheartofchess. Shameless plug one more time.
Okay.
But in all honesty, if you're not Magnus Carlsen, then properly winning a winning position is going to be hard. The best way that you're going to get better at it is by trial and error. That is your new best friend if you want to win winning positions. Go at it, play them, try to minimize your opponent's counterplay, try to make sure all your pieces are protected, and keep trying to win. And, of course, have fun along the way.
Okay.
With these 4 steps, you can try to play your perfect chess game. Now, it all sounds nice on paper, so let's put it into practice. Lucky for us, I already played a perfect 99% accurate chess game on Lichess during one of my Twitch streams. In the game, I was with the white pieces playing the Queen's Gambit. I'll walk you through the game by showing you my thought process during the live stream, and I'll elaborate further where needed. Let's get into it. In this game, I started with 1d4. My opponent responded with knight to f6. Now, I know I said I played the Queen's Gambit. In a way, we managed to transpose into the Queen's Gambit. After pawn to c4, my opponent played pawn to e6, and after knight f3, they decided to play pawn to d5, which in turn transposes into normal Queen's Gambit declined variations. Knight to c3 is what I played, and my opponent captured my pawn on c4. Now, I go for this line with e4, which, if black wishes, they can win an extra pawn. The only drawback to that is that after bishop b4, which is what my opponent played, trying to win the pawn on e4 due to the pin of the knight to the king, the only negative aspect of this is that after bishop takes c4, I give up the pawn, but now I've already developed a lot of pieces, and after I castle my king is fully safe, while black is yet to develop the queenside pieces or yet to castle their king. Cool. Let me think about it. I think I can castle. That was an interesting line. Okay, but he's playing the correct move. You're not supposed to take. You're not supposed to take. Taking is pretty bad. Bishop takes c3 could have been an alternative option, but that is a very risky option. White in this position has two good responses. Rook b1 is the top level engine move. It is a very logical move, getting away from the attack of the bishop. And even though white is down 2 pawns, their position is actually better. Again, simply due to the fact that black is yet to develop their pieces or even castle their king. More aggressive option is bishop to a3, which blocks black from castling and also gives away an exchange. But even after bishop takes a1, queen takes a1, even though white is down a full exchange and 2 pawns, the position stays very complex, and white actually has a lot of chances to win in this position. Bishop e7. Don't quite remember what the line is here. Is it some knight e5, queen g4, bishop f6, bishop h6? There's one option. Let's go for it, shall we? Or was it rook e1? I think it was rook e1 or... There's so many options here in this line. It's so funny. Let's go with queen e2, yeah? Alright, let's determine. Let's just play anything. During the game, as you could tell, I was actually not sure how to proceed. I knew there was a knight e5 move, I knew there was a queen e2, I knew there was a rook d1 idea, rook e1 idea. At the end of the day, I do commit to knight e5, which is the main move. And after my opponent castled, I played queen to g4, and now my opponent made a mistake. Now the move is knight to c6, trying to attack the knight through the c6 square. Instead, my opponent attacks my knight through the d7 square, which is a very, very minor change in where the knight is attacking our knight, but it's actually very crucial because the future capabilities of this knight on d7 are actually not as good as opposed to if the knight was on c6. Editor Emil here. Just to elaborate a little more on why knight c6 is better than knight d7, it's because of its future capabilities. If we follow the game after bishop to h6, bishop to f6, the reason why the knight is better placed on c6 is because it has the ability to go to e7, and afterwards it can go to f5. So for example, if rook a d1, let's say, knight e7, you can see how much more useful this knight is as opposed to the knight on d7. As you will see in the game, it does not have any forward capabilities, but from here the knight can go to f5 and not only overprotect the g7 square, but also put pressure on the bishop on h6. Okay, knight d7, that's logical. We could play bishop h6, bishop f6. G6 also an option, but we take. So bishop f6 is forced. I guess we play f4 here. f4, bishop, king h8, bishop g5. I really forgot what the line is here. It's also interesting to think about this take. Bishop e6, but probably not enough pieces. Or is it just rook fe1? Watch it just be rook af1. Okay, let's play rook a d1. In this position, after a long thought process, I decided to play rook a to d1. Now, you hear me talking about the move f4, and the reason I didn't go for it is because I calculated that after king h8, the king gets away from the pin, so now my bishop is actually being attacked. I would have to move it, and after I move it back to the g5 square, after bishop takes g5, I will have to take f takes g5. If I take queen takes g5, there's f6, which forks my two pieces. And after f takes g5, it looks like I'm bringing another piece into the attack. However, after knight takes e5, d takes e5, my opponent actually survived. They still have an extra pawn, and the king is relatively safe now that a lot more pieces have been traded off. So at the very best here, I just have compensation, nothing else. So for those reasons, I did not want to play pawn to f4. As for rook a d1 being the best move, it is the best move because it tactically protects our knight. It is in line with the queen on d8. So if knight takes e5, which didn't happen in the game, of course, after d takes e5, I will be attacking both the bishop on e5 and the queen on d8. So I'll be winning a piece in this example. If bishop takes e5, then after d takes e5, you cannot take, once again, not only because you're pinned, but mainly because now I'm threatening checkmate. So you don't have time to pick up the pawn due to the checkmate on g7. Okay, but this doesn't really threaten anything, so can we just advance with our plan? And I think I just want to checkmate you, yeah? I'm just trying to play rook g3. Okay, yeah, finally he had to play this. I mean, there's a ton of complications happening right now. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I think I play rook g3 anyways. Now, the reason in this position I was able to see rook g3 is because after rook g3, I'm attacking the g7 pawn one more time. So I'm having 3 attackers as opposed to only 2 defenders. So if I initiate trades on that square, I will benefit. My opponent cannot protect it with rook g8 because I play knight takes f7, which is a smothered checkmate. And if my opponent wishes to capture my bishop, then in this position, this is what I had foreseen. If you want to find it, feel free to pause the video. The best move is queen to g8, check, forcing the rook to capture. And now the same idea with knight takes f7, smothered checkmate. For that reason, after I played rook g3, my opponent had to play pawn to g6. Okay, he has to play g6. Is there a way for us to continue the attack? Do we see anything, Chad? Unfortunately, I don't see anything. But we do take... He has to play queen f8. I'm not... I think we just play... Do we just play queen f... Oh, interesting. I did not expect that. What's going on here? Okay, I think we take that one for sure. Pretty comfortable here. Okay, but I think queen f4. Ain't no way you survive this, sir. Ain't no way you survive this. I guess I just need to play faster. Rook d1's coming. Yeah, rook d1. Here his best move is actually to play knight d5 maybe, but... Or actually bishop d7. Bishop d7, yeah, that's pretty good. Fortunately, we have to take... One thing that you may have noticed during this entire game is I played really slowly. I'm not the best blitz player, but because I have a very nice position, it's actually easier to play with the side that has the decisive advantage. In this position, my opponent played bishop to c6, in which case I was able to spot a very simple tactic. If you wish to see it, pause the video and try to solve it for yourself. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something ain't right. The back door.
A what?
Let's go. Okay, but he's going to play knight takes c4 and he's going to continue playing the game. I know it. I know it, chat. I know it. What did I say? I said it. Ugh. I guess we take and take. Oh, but 95. Why did I allow him 95? It's actually not an easy endgame to win. It is not easy. All the pieces are guarded. Okay, but this one I give a check and I take on g6. Oh, you go there. That's right. Queen g7 then. I attack this. This is not over, but yeah, definitely not easy. I guess we have to start pushing the pawn though. Oh, we had f4 and taking the pawn. I think that is it. And take the pawn, right? We did make a weakness, but I think I just want to roll down the pawns. That's what we want to do. The king is totally safe. No, this king can't do anything. We just give a check and play h6. All right, chat, we got this. We got this. That was a nice game. That was a nice game, wasn't it, chat? I guess overall, I just dominated, huh? Well, look at that. Look at that, chat. 99%.
Nice.
All right, I think this is definitely one of my best games ever. Not gonna lie, 99%. Of course, 99% accuracy on Lichess. But if I were to input this game through chess.com's engine, the analysis will tell me that it was only 97.8% accurate. Now, why is there a disparity between the two engines? It's mainly due to the settings. Their settings are a little different, so therefore their outcomes are a little different as well. But at the end of the day, we're talking about less than 2%, right? It's just semantics at that point. And I think it's better to look at how did I fare with the 4 steps? Well, step 1 was, did I know the opening well? And I'll give myself a pass on that one. I did know the opening. Step 2 was, did I knew the plans of the openings well? I believe so. I think I was an overachiever in this one. I knew knight e5, queen g4, bishop h6. I knew rook e1. I knew queen e2, rook d1. I knew all the sort of different variants of how I can place my pieces. Step 3 was, did I strive for piece activity? And was I able to attack the opponent's king? 100%. I was able to play rook ad1, rook d3, rook g3, which was an awesome rook lift that allowed me essentially to win material, which brought me into step number 4. Once I did win material, was I able to finalize the game very well? I think so. I definitely spotted all the tactics, kept my pieces protected, and I 100% said back rank and not backdoor, right, guys? The backdoor, overall though, I believe that playing a perfect game wasn't so hard. During the game, it felt like I was just playing normal moves. Afterwards, of course, I feel extremely happy because I have the engine giving me a number telling me how well I did, and I can say that was quote-unquote my best game ever. But during the game, it didn't feel like I did something out of this world. I was just playing one good move at a time and having fun along the way. And that is what it comes down to, isn't it? Are you having fun? Are you trying to get better day by day? If so, then your perfect game is just around the corner. Don't doubt it. Believe it. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This was the very first video that I've ever created. And I had lots of fun. And I'm really proud of it. Even if this video only has 3 likes, I'm still really proud of it. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Please be the third one to like it because the other 2 would be me and my wife. So yeah, please go ahead and like it if you did enjoy it. Thank you so much. Until next time. Ciao.